Welcome to JGTCR. I'm Cope, and today we are tuning the Ferrari F8 Tributo. Let's get into it. This is not the greatest Ferrari in the world. No, this is just a Tributo. Sorry, but it had to be done. Finally, a Ferrari that does not feel like it's the lead excavator of snow in Mr. Plow's best lineup of vehicles. Unfortunately, it has made up for the improvement in steering by making the tail end much more loose on throttle. The handling is stellar for a Ferrari. It moves well on circuit, it zigs and zags when we ask it to, but the tail struggles to follow the example set by the front end. The steering is sharp and responsive, with understeer only becoming an issue at higher RPM. The power is a healthy 710 horsepower and provides great pickup down low, but it does get squirrely in the top end. It also runs out of puff at 7,000 RPM, so short shift around this area for best results. The power delivery is awesome down low, but it gets erratic in high RPM, which can be fun when we scramble to regain control of the tail end, but it does lose us a considerable amount of time. The brakes are solid and stable without any issues per se. Let's collect our time. Six minutes, 47.3 seconds. And now, the race tune. The main things to note in this tune is that the turbo is low and anti-lag is set to strong. The low turbo gives us better response on throttle, and the anti-lag on strong makes sure the boost is ever ready and frothing at the bit to perform. Let's head back out to the Nürburgring. As much as I tried, I really just couldn't get into this Ferrari. It felt like it just wanted to do its own thing and not be part of the team. Every input had just a sliver of defiance added to it by this vehicle. The handling works well most of the time, but has bouts of random understeer that can cause issues. The steering is fairly decent, but randomized understeer takes us wide without warning. Easing off the throttle 2 to 5% can rectify this issue, but it's not ideal. There is power aplenty with this F8 Ferrari, and it has plenty of pull to get us moving. However, it does get peaky and run out of puff in the top end of the RPM, so it's best to short shift to stay in power band and in control. The power delivery is incredibly aggressive. It's not uncommon to find plenty of wheel spin from 3000 RPM onwards in most gears. So short shift in turns and be cautious when going full throttle, even on straights. When slides occur, they are unpleasant and should be nipped in the bud ASAP or suffer the consequences. The brakes work decently enough for the most part. However, the tail does like to get loose on heavy braking from higher speeds. So use stage braking and caution when turning in. Let's collect our time. Six minutes, 0.7 seconds. And now, the drift tune. Our drift tune retains the low turbo but switches anti-lag from strong to weak. let's drift Suzuka. The Ferrari F8 Tributo is a strange vehicle to tune outright, let alone for drift. Its defiance knows no bounds, and it is tripolar in nature, meaning that it will try and drive us into a pole and ride us both off just to avoid drifting. The handling is capable of guiding the Ferrari acceptably through the turns in drift conditions, but it does feel too Bodie McBoatface with a decent side of awkwardness. The steering does work, but it is clearly governed by the tail as it leads the drift. The power is massive and has no issues whatsoever blazing the rear tyres and bellowing smoke. The power delivery is aggressive but also awkward. It pulls and pushes the front end, disturbing the steering and unsettling the drift. With more time, the tune could be further refined, but the question is, would it be worth the efforts with the F8 having such a disdain for drift? And that's all we have for you today, so until next time, keep racing!